It's quite a ride this week at Saturday Cappuccino with the Saints, and this week we're going to discuss the most mysterious feast of all, the Transfiguration. Everybody's read the story of the Transfiguration of Jesus up on the mountain, but I guarantee you've never heard it explained like this. Tradition says that the Transfiguration took place on top of Mount Tabor, and yet it almost certainly wasn't Mount Tabor. Are you aware of the sinister traditions and associations with Mount Hermon, where most scholars actually believe the Transfiguration took place? To get our minds around this, I'm going to consult only the best, and that is Michael Heiser, Reverend Bird, and Tim Mackey from the Bible Project. They're going to be the ones that I'm going to consult and use their resources to help us navigate our way through this very interesting topic. You're going to learn about the significance of cosmic geography and how where something happens in the Bible makes a bigger difference than you think. If you ever wanted to know what the gate of hell looked like, well, we're going to talk all about it on this week's episode. Here it is. We're going to discuss how this story of Jesus declaring, "Upon this rock I will build my church," has been interpreted by many people in many different ways over many centuries. And there's a connection of this Transfiguration story to Mount Olympus, believe it or not, as well as the dwelling place of Baal, otherwise known as Baal. If that wasn't weird enough, it also relates to the Genesis 6 story with the Nephilim that led to the flood and the destruction of the earth. So it's going to get really weird. And you're going to find out who these other guys were that were there with Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration, Moses and Elijah, and what the significance of their being there is. And because we're full service, you're also going to have a saint, one of the greatest saints in our tradition, Saint Joseph of Arimathea. You're going to learn all about him. And how everything you think you know about burial traditions in Jesus' day is probably wrong. Oh, it gets wild with Joseph of Arimathea. All sorts of crazy traditions we're going to talk about, with legends that go back thousands of years. So it's just quite an interesting show. Like, did Joseph of Arimathea bring his great nephew Jesus to England? Well, find out on Saturday. And find out about the association with Joseph of Arimathea with the Holy Grail. It's a really fascinating story. Was the Holy Grail of Jesus, the cup used at the Last Supper, stored in this well in England? And how is Joseph of Arimathea related in some way to the tales of King Arthur? Or is all this Grail business just something along with unicorns and Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster? Well, you're going to find out there's more to it than just a myth. The Grail is real, and although maybe Joseph of Arimathea is not involved, but next week you'll find out who was, and it's quite the tale. So you'll need to make sure your cappuccino has a lot of foam for this very exciting episode of Saturday Cappuccino with the Saints.